Welcome to Work Unscripted. I'm your host, Marlo Lyons. I'm here to toss aside the corporate scripts for unfiltered truths. We are tackling real work challenges with no sugarcoating, providing you with the strategies to thrive and find fulfillment in your career. It's time to turn the page. It's time to be unscripted. Hey everyone, welcome to a special episode of Work Unscripted. I'm your host, Marlo Lyons, and today we're doing something a little bit different. This is our Q1 recap, highlighting some of the most impactful conversations we've had about thriving in work, navigating life, and adapting to whatever comes your way. Whether you've been with us since the very first episode or you're just joining us today, you're about to get a powerful dose of real, raw insights that will equip you to handle life's twists and turns. So settle in because we're kicking off with a conversation about what true fulfillment looks like. Have you ever chased a goal, maybe a promotion, a bigger paycheck, or that next big thing, only to reach it and still feel empty? That's what Amy Wong, author of Living on Purpose, calls living by default. Amy challenges us to stop focusing solely on external achievements and instead tune into the feelings we're actually seeking. If you've been stuck on autopilot, Amy's perspective could change your entire approach to life. When you say autopilot, is that like the treadmill, the hamster wheel that we're all on, where we're kind of like content, satisfied, but we're not really fulfilled?
Yeah, exactly. You know, to kind of break it down and make it easy to understand, one of the things that hit me when I went through a really big breakthrough moment of my life was I woke up to this. It seems like a truth to me. And I don't know if it's a truth, but I'll just share it as a truth. But what seems like a truth to me is that, when we look at our plight as humans, we all have desires, we all have dreams, we all have preferences, we all have, we tend to set goals. We want stuff in life. And many of us have been conditioned to recognize like, oh yeah, I want a better job. I want more money. I want a bigger house. I want a relationship. You name it. And the insight that came to me was, yeah, we want these things, but really what's true is that it's actually not the thing we want. We want the feeling we think we would have as a result of the thing. And we use the thing as the intermediary, but we don't really know that. We just stop at the thing. It's like, yep, I want the job. Yep, I want that really awesome position. Yep, I want the promotion. Yep, I want more money. And really, if we ask ourselves, like, what do we ultimately want? It's like, well, yeah, I want this thing. But if you ask why, and you keep asking why, it's going to come back to a feeling state. And so what I have decided is the most important thing for us is, well, what do we want to feel? What do we want to feel? And when you stop and you ask that question, okay, well, I want to feel significant. I want to feel at peace. I want to feel purpose. I want to feel meaning. I want to feel joy. I want to feel, I don't know, you fill in the blank. But when we get clear on that, then all of a sudden we kind of take stock and it's like, well, is my life representative of that? And are the things that I'm going after, is that a direct map to the feeling? And so this living by default is often an effect of not seeing the full map. And we stop at the thing and we chase the thing and we achieve the thing. And then we might end up with decent or even great lives on paper, but then we feel hollow and we feel unfulfilled. And then we can't figure out what to do differently because we did all the things we said we wanted to do. And so then it's, well, I got to get more stuff or I got a more promotion. And then we end up on this rat race, hamster wheel sort of thing. And what I have found in all the conversations I've had over the, decade plus is people become pretty conditioned to this feeling of discontent, right? We tolerate this feeling of mediocrity. And that's what I mean by autopilot.
If fulfillment starts with purpose, then securing meaningful work is a crucial step. But what happens when the job market feels like a black hole of unanswered applications and ghosted interviews? Executive recruiter Jane Turkewitz cuts through the noise, offering practical advice to overcome job search frustration and communicate your true value and stay mentally resilient during tough times. If you've ever felt desperate in your career journey, Jane's advice is your roadmap out.
I would say my biggest piece of advice is to not get so frustrated and so upset with the situation that you start saying to somebody on an interview, I will do anything.
So
just
don't
give me
be
a
desperate.
job. You can be desperate internally, but you can't be desperate externally.
What do you mean?
You have to stay focused, meaning like you can feel that desperation, right? Like, I just need a job. I'll do anything. You can feel that internally, and you can talk about with your friends. But what you need to do is create a focused plan and a strategy and stay at it. And when you go on an interview, you need to be able to clearly articulate where you can add value and what you're looking to do, and not express that desperation or that the feeling of defeat.
But what about all the people who are doing that online right now? I see that on LinkedIn all the time saying, hey, folks, I don't want to do this, but I'm now at the point of desperate. I'm about to lose my house. My kids aren't being fed. Is that okay? Or, or are you saying just don't do it on an interview?
I don't think that whenever I see those posts, Marlo, my heart hurts for those people, but I also always feel like they're doing themselves a disservice because they're never saying what they're looking for or where they can contribute. They're just expressing desperation. How can I help you if I don't know what you're looking to do or where you can lend value to somebody that I might know? So instead of expressing the desperation, express where you can lend that value. Give people the information they need to be able to help you. Also, by the way, I recently had an early careers client tell me that they stopped reading LinkedIn's newsfeed because it was making them really anxious. And I support that 100%.
Building professional connections can feel overwhelming, especially when you're struggling with anxiety or self-doubt. But networking doesn't have to be painful. It's about authentic connections, one small step at a time. Michaela Alexis, author of No Fear Networking, shares how she transformed her own social anxiety into meaningful relationships by embracing small, courageous actions. Michaela's advice is perfect for anyone looking to break through fear and build community on their own terms.
We're networking right now. We're sharing stories, we're sharing conversations. And that's really what networking is. It's just, building your community. That's all it is. So kind of getting out of that mindset that it needs to be done one way. If it's you send a connection request to somebody on LinkedIn that you admire, do that today. Whatever that small baby step looks like for you, just do that. Because I can tell you that for me, it really and truly was a baby step of getting off my porch, right? And then from the porch, I got to the train. And then from the train, I got to the school. It was not, okay, I went from this to speaking on a stage. It took these little choices that I would make every single day to get to this point. And it's still a struggle for me. There are still situations where I feel really burnt out or I'm super overwhelmed. But at least now I have the tools to be able to manage it the best that I can. And I'm saying no to the things that I know that I'm not going to be good at. I'm saying yes to the things that I know that I can thrive in, those environments that I can thrive in. And I'm spending that energy there rather than beating myself up because what's wrong with me that I can't just do this thing.
Sometimes the biggest obstacle we face at work is feeling misunderstood, especially if you're neurodivergent. Diann Wingert, an ADHD expert, opens up about how ADHD affects workplace interactions, confidence, and even our self-worth. She emphasizes that understanding and embracing your unique wiring can not only change your career trajectory, but also lead to greater innovation and productivity. If you've ever struggled with feeling different at work, Diann's insights are both validating and empowering.
Because we often feel defensive, because we often feel like we're broken, we are, misfits, we can't do anything right, we're fundamentally flawed, we're lucky that anybody wants to have anything to do with us, and we're always a house of cards waiting to fall. We're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. And unfortunately, this state of constant worry and anxiety and the existential threat of losing your ability to financially support yourself tends to make people more symptomatic. It tends to make people more distracted, more forgetful, more disorganized. And so that was my most important question for this individual is like, do you really want this job? Because in my experience, Marlo, because most of us feel so defensive and so shamed and so guilty and so inadequate, we will double down on trying to hold on to something that we don't even want, because the thought that it could be taken from us is like proof positive.
What a powerful lineup. From choosing fulfillment to finding clarity in your career to overcoming social anxiety and embracing neurodiversity. This quarter's episodes remind us all that thriving is not just about avoiding challenges, but about adapting and growing through them. If today's recap resonated, I invite you to listen to each full episode for even deeper insights. Remember, life isn't scripted, but your success and fulfillment don't have to be left to chance. Subscribe to Work Unscripted, and let's continue the journey together. Work Unscripted is produced and edited in partnership with the team at Palm Tree Podco and 21 Digby. The content for this week's episode was created by me, Marlo Lyons.